stage. So if you start us off, how did you get into the industry? How did you get to where you are now?
So 400 years ago, I was teaching inline skating classes. Rollerblading, it's like when roller skates and all the wheels are in one line. This is for the younger kids. And somebody in my class was like, have you ever thought about doing radio? The station was called Radio Disney, and I ended up with a show with Kyle Abear, who you guys know as Gohan and narrator. So Kyle and I have this radio show. One day he's reading a newspaper, and there's an ad for a company called Funimation. So he answered the ad. And then I'm a voice actor.
That's the way it used to be back then. They put ads in the back of like the
Also,
local.
none of us knew about voice acting. Like, it wasn't a job. It wasn't something that you sought out. So then it was just kind of like, we're doing what? And I'm gonna voice a boy? How does that work? So we were just a bunch of kids kind of flailing around and creating cartoons and taking more breaks than doing work.
And how did you make that little boy character?
So when I very first went in, I was working, what was his name, Bruce, with Chris Sabat. You guys don't even, this is before their time. And when I went in, they're like, okay, so you're gonna do this little boy's voice. And I'm like, okay. And they said, and the only like boy voice that we had at the time was Bart Simpson, you know? And so they were like, but we want him to be really, really gravelly. And that's hard to maintain for a long period of time, that level of gravel. And so the advice that I was given, they were like, go get those like plastic jars full of lemon juice, and if you bring that in and squirt it on your vocal cords, I swear to God, that was the advice I was given.
Oh, God.
And I did it for one session, and I was like, this hurts so bad. And other terrible bits of advice that I got. And so if you guys notice, there's a point in Super, a little bit in Kai, mostly in Super, where Goten's voice changes. And the fans were really upset. They thought I had been recast. And so the truth is, I just didn't want to keep doing that voice. Because it was really, really painful to be that gravelly for that long and that deep in my voice, because you can hear I have a really high-pitched voice. And so they said, you can do anything you want as long as you stay with the show. And by that point, I had my son, and I was like, oh, so this is what actual little boys sound like. They don't sound like this. Little boys sound more like this. So I switched his voice up, and then he became a real little boy. He's my own Pinocchio.
So the disclaimer is, Cara Edwards does not endorse you squirting lemon juice on your vocal.
Do not, I think you guys, like the advice that I was given, even when I was in radio, terrible things that I'm not going to say because there's so many children,